So let's see where we left off yesterday. So go here and refresh. All right, so we completed delete post by ID and we almost finished the function. We came so close. Let's go back to stack stuff. Fine. All right. No, not delete. Did I really put delete? Oh, it should be update there. I took some NyQuil to help me sleep last night, especially because I felt like I was getting sick, and I'm still kind of in a NyQuil fog. So, okay. All right, so we had this update, and we said, oh, our problem was, how are we going to get these column names and values into the object that is our second parameter for the db.1. Right? Or no? Yeah, so here we're doing named parameters. And here the named parameter is whatever the column is that somebody sent us. And the question is, how are we going to be able to make sure that the correct named parameters get into this object? ID is easy because it was given to us here, but we have to get out of new data what we actually have. So I can actually, I believe, do this. Right? And that's going to take all of my names and values from new data and add it with ID. If this doesn't work, it's actually the same thing for doing object it would be the same thing as doing this. But this is kind of prettier, syntactic sugar. But basically, I'm just merging the two objects. Okay, so let's see whether this one works. Uh-oh, okay. No, it does not like my ... Sad but true. So let's just go with the object.assign. Okay. All right. And we said we were going to do another test when we add both at the same time. So here, this is adding one by one. So we can do a describe here. Add column data, or so update column data one by one. Okay, and then we'll do a describe. Well, we don't really need to do a describe. We can just do it updates all column data. And so for this one, we don't really need to do a before because so update, oh, so it actually, we're already resetting the database with this before each, so that's good. And so we can just give it the new data. So we can do update post by ID like this, new data. Dot then, and then for this, we're going to want to check that each of them was updated, right? So it's actually going to be a kind of like this, but instead of a not, it's going to be a is updated. So let's how do I really want to do this? So maybe I want, because I want to just have one expect. So maybe if I do a before, let new post row, and if I do a before, update all columns, oops, that's actually not what I want to do. Do that down here. All right, so we have the, oh, it's mad at me. We'll deal with that in a minute. Oh, it might be because of this. So, no, maybe not. Okay, so new post row equals results, just so I can have that for my other thing. And then, okay, so for let prop in new data, old data, it doesn't matter. They all have the same props. But I actually think, well, it doesn't matter. They all have the same props. Okay, we don't need this if here because we're going to be checking all of them. And then it does not update. So it updates the prop, and then we expect new post row prop to equal old data prop. So we're just going through and making sure that for every property it's been updated. The thing that we got back from the update is equal to, oh, no. New post row prop should equal new data prop. It's equal to what it should have been updated. All right, now let's get our parentheses figured out. You still don't like this. Okay, so good morning, Celeste. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So that, okay, so that's all good. So it's something inside. Okay, so let's try this. Oh no, that before, that should, yeah, okay, we need to do, okay, how are we doing now? All right. Okay, let's try it. Okay. Oh, I didn't, it looks like I didn't put an arrow in my function here, line 102. Do you remember the shortcut? In almost every, almost everything, Control G. Or we didn't get, like I should have gotten an it for, oh, I should have gotten an it for every column if that had worked out properly. So let's just make sure. Okay, so describe update column data one by one. Did I get that? I did. And then inside, but, oh, no, update column data one by one I got. But then do I have, oh, I think this should be a describe. That's why. because then update all column data. Yeah, let's try again. All right, better. Okay. So, and we never got a red test for this. So we want to make sure that we are, and actually I did not do a return here, bad me. So let's just see if we can get red, because you always want to make sure that you're not getting false positives. So that's all. That's awesome. Woohoo! Okay. So git commit, or let's do a status to make sure. I like to do a status beforehand to make sure that I don't have any unadded files, because too often I do commits and then I have this elaborate explanation, but one of the files was a new file, and so it wasn't even in the commit because I forgot to add it. So okay, so complete update post by ID. Great. And we can put that in our README as well. Okay, so we are, I don't know, guys, we're almost done with our database stuff. I don't know what we're going to do when we don't sit here and do database functions and test all morning. Okay, but so now that we have this update post by ID function, I actually think it'll be very easy for us to do update user by ID. Because when we wrote this, I was pretty careful to make it generic and not like specific to post. I never like really mentioned title and body specifically. I always like just went through whatever we actually had. So let's see how easy it is to copy paste. And again, if I were doing this in production, I probably wouldn't copy paste because we're probably going to have an update. Well, I don't know whether we'll have that, but anyway, because you want to make sure that you're keeping your code as dry as possible. So copy paste is not really the way to go. But I'm going to do it for now just for expediency. Okay, so do we have update user? We don't. Okay, so let's make that. And we might as well add that now so I don't forget later. And then, okay, so so let's just copy this whole thing, go here. Let's, wherever we have, yeah, exactly. I'm going to do this one first because this one's going to have a capital user, but everything else. Okay, so, all right, so the only thing is that the keys for new data are going to be different. So let's look at our user schema. All right, so what can we update? We can update name, email, password. We can't update joined at, image URL, or primary city. So name, email, password I think is going to be a different beast because we're going to have to do all that. So let's not do password here. So name, email, image URL, or primary city. Name. Really? Okay. All right. Okay, function. And check it out. I don't think I have to change any of this. Nice. So yeah, which means that this really should be pulled out into a separate function, which I will leave as an exercise for the reader. Okay, so now let's go into tests. And I'm going to take this whole test here, and I'm going to copy it. And okay, hold on. Let's, okay, so that's update post. It's going to get easy to get lost in here. Oh, and let's get this only off. We'll leave that only here. Okay, so update user by ID. Old data is going to be something else, and new data is going to be something else. And okay, and then what else do I need to do? I need to and then I think that's all. Okay. Okay, so now let's get the old data. We'll get that from the seed file, right? Oh yeah, testy test. Okay, and city and image URL. City is Oakland and image URL is nothing. Okay, so and this is where, like, eventually I might change that image URL in the DB reset. And so that's why I was talking about yesterday. It's nicer to have this exported from there. So if I change it in there, I don't have to make sure to change it here. But again, we're doing a little quick and dirty here. So, although I'm sure you would argue with the quick part. All right, whatever. Okay, so cool. And now now I actually feel like our tests are done, which is amazing, right? And now let's go to update user by ID. And actually I think but let's make sure that we can get red on our tests. So I'm gonna just comment this out, and I'm going to return my usual promise .resolve like that. All right, so let's see if we can get red on those tests. So wise, so wise. Okay, so let's go back up here and where my other user? Does this not have, oh, this is post actions. So I guess I better go back to my user actions. Okay, good to know. Okay, so let's, cool. Let's go to the user actions. And go back to post actions. And take all of this. Okay, and user and this. And then okay, so let's try again. Nice, look at all that red.
Why is it all the tests that used to a passing and now not passing?
This is only, I have a describe dot only on the,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah, good question. I know, check it out. We added, with this, we added 20 new tests. So let's, okay, great. So let's make them pass.
We're a lot closer to you, dude.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really? Did it change? Did it move the
I
couch?
think we forgot to put, we'll put them back after that.
Okay. Why, hello, my friends. Okay. Actually, I can probably just. So, not there. Oh, that's really interesting. I actually did not. Oh, okay. Because here I'm using, so this city is a problem because city's not actually a column in the table. The column in the table is primary, right? This is the key, that's the key error there. Okay. So to fix it, see, and we even have here that the possible keys are primary city. And if we go to here, you can see that it's just city, right? And so it's getting upset. So let's try that again. All right. Okay, so we have confirmed that these tests can fail. We confirmed that they are passing. And now, what's next?
What else do we need to test?
Well, the first thing I should do is I should take the only off and make sure that all of my other tests still pass. I didn't really change anything that should affect them, but good to know, right? Okay. Very interesting. Let's see what happened. Update post, no data returned from the query. Before all hook, update the column. So when we're updating post, it says no data returned from the query. Okay, so let's look. So this is where tests are actually really great, right? My code is not in working order right now, and I know that, right? So let's all right, so the update, it was the before all hook, update the column. And we're doing update post. And it's telling me that no data was returned from the query. Interesting. Let's just make sure that somehow, I don't know, shit didn't go wrong. So let's look at update post by ID. This is returning this, which is returning star. Okay. Let's make sure that I didn't, in the tests, that I didn't somehow change it to update user by ID here. Okay, because sometimes, you know, sometimes when you're doing like global replaces. Okay, so that's interesting. What do you guys think?
I would try to run this test again with only.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, let's try it. Because it worked when we ran it with only before. Very interesting. That is not what I was thinking, but I love it. Let's try it. You're a genius. All right, so why does the only, what the fuck, man? Okay, so my thought is that perhaps I'm not respecting asynchronicity in previous tests. But I'm seeing return all up here. Let's see if I run this entire file. You know, not just this test, but if I run the entire file, right? So let's, all right, I think, so test. Okay, so running the entire file is giving us a problem. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the like, all right, who's the problem, right? So first, let's confirm that if I comment out everything else, that it works. No, it's running it without the only, even if everything else is commented out. Mocha, you are just so weird. Right? Because it's not like it tried to run anything else. But if I do a dot only, wait, now if I do a dot only, it's still failing? Jeffrey Westcott once told me the reason that he uses tape instead of mocha is when you're having problems with your test, it's usually because of mocha and not because you're not because of your actual tests. Okay. That's just bizarre. Okay. Fine. I'm gonna start looking into. I'm just going to start looking into the actual problem now because although it is very weird that yeah. All right, I'm going to start looking into the actual problem now. So before all hook, it says no data is returned from the query. So I'm going to and it's the update the column. It's update one by one. updating title, right here. And it's this one here. So I'm guessing that this is empty because that's what I'm hearing it tell me. All right, so I'm having asynchronicity problems because it's not even console logging that. No data returned from the query. But it's not even console logging this. So how is it determining that no data is being returned from the query? Is it because, okay, is it because of my, like, am I doing something else weird down here where it's trying to, is it because of my for loop? Why don't you like my for loops? No. Okay, so let's see now if I just like, okay, so I'm going to take all of this and let's actually, is it even doing update all column data? It is. It doesn't like that one either. Okay. This is returning. We're all good there. Okay, it's doing this. It's doing the update prop. And is it doing update the column? It is, and it's getting upset and update the column. And then it's doing update post by ID, then new post, but it's never console logging this. Okay, so it got there, but when it does this,
Like a catch.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, and I think that, remember how when I didn't have returning star, I got that problem before, like like there was the no data return from query. So did I somehow like Control Z and it undid the returning star or something? It has the returning star. How can nothing be, but yes, okay, but Deb is right. The catch is the most efficient way to proceed here. So or we can just do that. All right, so the error is no data.
Oh, is the database the... It's pretty weird.
That is pretty weird, right? Why do I feel like crying? Because it works. Oh no, you didn't. Why does
Oh, some of them started passing?
what's that?
Some of them started
Yes.
passing? Oh, wow.
Cannot read property title of undefined. Wait, what? Now you're giving me totally, oh, when I catch the error, okay, when I catch the error, then different things start happening. But I don't understand why catching the error should.
Fix some of them.
I mean, I would understand how maybe it fixes the does not update, but.
Maybe on the first round. Actually, I don't know.
Cannot read. Oh, right. So these errors I understand, because basically I am basically new post row is not getting set to the result here because we have the error. So when we look at new post row prop, that's just undefined, right? Or this new post row is undefined and you can't even get the prop of it. So
Is there a post in the table?
say that again.
Is there not a post in the table somewhere? Why is the query not working?
Why is the query not working? And having there not be a post in the table sounds like a possibility. We are resetting the DB and we are returning it, which means we're waiting for it to finish. But am I getting this reset and seed the DB? Maybe I'm not. Describe. So this before each should apply to everything. All right, well, let's just do a test because I hear what you're saying, Celeste. So let's do a test here. And right, so let's just do the reset DB directly here. Fine, it's a little weird, but no. It did get a new post though, this time. Now I'm just confused. Okay, so we have this before each, fine. This before each should happen before any of the its that are inside this describe. So if we go in here, we've got a bunch of nested describes. Does it hate us for all of our nesting? Perhaps it does.
Maybe instead of describe it with context.
You think that I think describe and context are synonyms, but I'm open to trying. Okay, shall we try that instead?
No, I mean to keep the most outer one described, but inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So no. But this, the most outer describe is this.
Yay. So weird.
5 passing. Mocha, hate you. But it updated the.
Go there today.
Oh, I think. Oh, okay. I think that might actually be a problem with the test. So hold on. Let me remove all of that updates. So expect new post row other prop to equal old data other prop. And if we look at old data, so old data should be up there today. It's all. Celeste, tell us why.
Because before hooks run after, I mean run before all before each.
Befores run before eaches.
Yes.
Wow.
Before each.
That okay, I get it. Don't like it, but I get it. Okay. So we basically can't do that. Okay. So now we want to do before, and we'll do what we did. Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so we're going to return reset DB dot then. dot then. Okay, so you think that should work, Celeste? So why did it ever work?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know, Celeste. Okay.